So we got some more Baltimore Ravens news. Um, Rashad Bateman responds to the general manager Eric DeCosta, who said some remarks at the combine, that weren't to the liking of the receivers in at Baltimore. So pretty much Eric DeCosta was talking to the media, and they're talking about the draft and what they're looking for. I guess they asked him, how does he evaluate, you know, uh, pretty much Eric DeCosta wouldn't say this. If I had an answer, that would probably mean I will have some better receivers. They asked about how he evaluates receivers. We're going to keep swinging. There have been some guys that have been successful for us that were draft picks. We've never really hit on an all pro type of guy, which is disappointing. But but it's not for lack of effort. It's one of those anomalies that I can explain. Other than to say that we're not going to stop trying. I go on to say this. I agree with it, right? They drafted some. I don't think they really went out to draft guys, but they did draft Rashad Bateman, who hasn't really been on the field since hasn't been on the field since he's been in the league. Um, he's playing in an offense where he's pretty much stock blocking most most of the time. He's out there blocking most of the time. But over the past 12 seasons, the wide receivers combined to produce the fewest amount of receiving yards in the NFL and the second fewest catches second fewest catches. So they haven't been doing a good job. And so Rashad Bateman goes out to say, I'm not going to repeat all of it because he's pretty graphic. He says, "How about you play to your players' strengths and stop pointing the finger at us and blame number 8? Blame the one you let do this. We take heat 24/7 and keep us healthy. Care about us and see what happened. Ain't no promises though. Tired of y'all lying and capping on the players for no reason. If you don't know what capping means, that means over exaggerating or just ragging or hyperbolizing what the situation is for you people who don't know what capping is." But he pretty much said that in a tweet. 40 minutes later, he deleted the tweet and said, "My apologies. I do think there's some truth behind it. If you get drafted by the Baltimore Ravens under Greg Roman, they let Greg Roman run this offense, and they pretty much ran the ball. I'm going to put out some film on this, but they pretty much played in between the hashes. The receivers were an afterthought. You'd be going out in two-man routes. You go in motion, and be blocking the defensive end. The offense really didn't allow the receivers to work, and especially with Rashad Bateman. Rashad Bateman's a receiver that needs to work in space. Now, you can't have him just running over routes, drag routes. You need to allow him to work in space, work a zone, because that's where he excels. Now, when it comes to keeping them healthy, there's some other things to take a look at because the Ravens have not been healthy the past three seasons. You can almost count on the Ravens not players, someone going down towards the end of the season. That the past 2 years, their defensive players have just been going down. So there's some truth behind that. I do think there's some truth behind what Eric DeCosta said as well too. He said this. He said there has been some successful players for us that were draft picks, and I think Rashad Bateman is a successful receiver. When he did play, he was effective. I don't think he was a guy that was kind of meandering around out there, not knowing what to do. For a little time and opportunity that he got, he was effective. Now beforehand, they may have drafted some guys, but I don't really know them drafting anybody in Lamar Jackson era. But then people blame Lamar Jackson for not wanting to go because of they think all he does is run the ball, and that's how the offense revolved around. So this is not a good look for the Ravens when your top receiver is going out being vocal. DeCosta went on to say, so basically, DeCosta went on to say, he said they have to be the very best as well because players are going to get hurt. And you can't get incremental value by having the very best people working for you to get your players back on the field. So I don't know if the training staff is looking to get them, any help. Last month, the Ravens fired the strength and conditioning coach. The Baltimore strength coaches received an F- in the NFLPA's report card that was released Wednesday. So I think Washington was worse. I think Baltimore. What's up with the D.C. area? Them just not taking care of their people. DeCosta mentioned that it needed to have a strong performance, have a strong performance, wellness department, which includes the training room, mental health, diet, and nutrition, and strength coaches. So there's a lot going on in the Ravens facility rather than just Lamar Jackson's situation. But it doesn't help when you're arguably the best receiver on your roster. Is going out saying, "Hey, like help me!" Like it sounded like a cry from what he said. Because if you read, his what he said, how about you play to your player's strength? They're not playing to their player's strengths. They're running the ball. Stop pointing a finger at us and blame number 8, right? So blaming Lamar Jackson. Blame the one you let do this, the one they hired as an offensive coordinator, Greg Roman. He said, "We take heat 24/7. Help me, like help me, brother, help me." And he said, "And keep us healthy." And that's the reason why they got an F. Care about us. Like literally, this shouldn't be going on in an NFL facility that your star receiver, your best receiver, is crying out for help. Like, what is going on with what is going on with the Ravens? So, I think there's truth. I think correct. There's truth to what he's saying, and he, of course, his PR person was like, "Hey, Rashad, you can't tweet that," so he took it down. Maybe they gave him a call. I'm like, "Hey, Rashad, look, my bad, man, bye-bye," at the combine when they saw it. News travels fast in the NFL. But what's going on with the Ravens? Tell me what you guys think, man, because this is not a good look, especially, coming up to that March 15th date where they think Lamar Jackson's going to get a franchise tag, maybe an exclusive franchise tag as well, too, a franchise tag if they don't come to a deal. So we'll see what happens, and, but this is rough. And let me know what you guys think in the comment section.